said, my name is Ruby Maddox, and I pretty much started gardening the community when I was about 21 years old. So it was a thing of knowing that there was a need in the community and wanting to do good work and not exactly knowing what that picture was supposed to look like, or if I had all of the right things to do it. But if you're able by whatever you have, you use that. And that was the philosophy that I used when I went into the work. And it was all about trying to teach kids how to grow food, trying to change over what our community looked like, and just trying to work together and give some value to what people thought didn't have any value, or the youth were destructive and they weren't interested in gardening. The only thing they would do in a garden is destroy things, and we proved that wasn't possible. That they could be hard workers. That they could get excited about being community leaders and community development. And I learned a whole lot in the process, and so some of it, and a lot of it, I'm still learning. And so pretty much gardening the community, like Patricia said, is we're a youth-based organization. We work with youth in the community. We employ them, about 20 youth, and we take abandoned lots and we turn them into community gardens. We are a project of the Northeast Organic Farming Association, the Massachusetts chapter, and NOFA, pretty much, Linda's probably going to talk a little bit more about NOFA, but briefly, has a lot to do with being connected to the land, having natural cycles, working with natural materials, and having more control over the resources in your life as much as possible. GTC was started in 2002, and basically we, along with obviously growing the food, we take youth to trips to farms, we go to other nonprofits, try to expose them to the way that other youth and ag programs are working. We've taken a couple trips here to Boston to see the Food Project, Nuestras Raíces in Holyoke, and other social change organizations we visit. I'm trying to think of, it's Springfield Partners for Community Action. It's something that an organization that I'm familiar with. I know a lot of you wouldn't be, but just so they see, who are the other leaders in their community, who's working to try to make things better, and so that, if they're hearing the message that no one's doing anything and no one cares, that they can see that that's not true. We also bring groups onto onto our sites and have them, learn from the youth. It's a role reversal sometimes for a lot of adults, because they don't know exactly where their food comes from or exactly how it's produced, and so they have to kind of take the lead from this kid who's been working all summer in the sun, and tell them, oh, this is the size of a carrot seed and how you have to grow it and how you harvest it. And we bring other youth from schools and summer camps and things like that, and have our youth do some mentoring with them. So I always say that gardening community works on urban agriculture. A lot of people would say, well, ask me, well, what does that mean? How is that different from community gardens? And it's not really different, but from what GTC represents and what NOFA represents, it's trying to move what's been traditionally thought of as community gardens as a side thing and separate from your life. It's a hobby, to something that is a real solution for the community. And again, obviously it means growing food in the city, but there is a unique way in which growing food in the city needs to integrate with the landscape, needs to integrate with the community. A lot of times the people who are growing the food, they're not these people who were farmers for a long time. They were traditional farmers. They were people who had the knowledge that was is passed down to them from their, their grandmother and their grandfather who maybe did have a farm and they never got that opportunity, but there was something in them, that caused them to continue to do that in some capacity. And, we want to recognize that, and we try to, again, bring that into a different kind of light where it's more integral to people's lives. So using residents as laborers, using the use of typical resources like organic waste and compost and urban wastewater for irrigation. I'm going to talk more about that when I talk about the water, but we have a very modest budget, and in some ways it's a beautiful thing. I know a lot of you maybe have heard the term "small is beautiful," and we use what we can get. If we can get compost from the city, that's great. We use that. If we can get some, a local farm finds out about us, gives us hay for mulch, that's great. We use that. And we, not a lot of our sites have water available, so then we get creative there. And again, I'll go into that a little bit later. We, again, trying to make urban agriculture a bigger part of the food system. We recognize that what's available or what communities need in order to be healthy is not always affordable, and so it does deal with the issue of access. And then there's also the education piece. If youth are taught that this is what is healthy because this is what's available, what's available and what's healthy to them is, there's a difference there. And so we get them excited about the food that they're growing, and then integrating that and why it's important to eat whole foods. And it's not necessarily about an elitist point of view or something that those other people do. We don't eat that kind of food. It's like, well, not really. That we can eat this kind of food, and it is a part of our food system, and providing it is becoming part of that food system and not just taking what we're giving.